In this lesson, we'll learn how to work with zip files in Python. And for the purpose of this lesson, I've prepared 3 text files, which will later turn into a zip archive. But first things first, we need to import the module zip file from the standard Python library. And let's use functions available in this module to create our first zip archive. Here I'm using a zip file class for writing and reading zip files. And also we need to specify the name of the archive. It's going to be zip archive.zip. And also we need to specify the mode. In this case, it's going to be W for write. And now we can write to this archive. So we're literally using the write function, and we are passing the name of this text file number 1, to this write function. Also copy and paste, and all 3 files are accommodated. Now let's close our archive and let's run the code. And what we should see on the left hand side is, well, you guess it, our zip archive.zip. I've already had this file, but in your case, the new file zip archive.zip will appear in your file manager. And we can also confirm that this zip file is actually a legitimate zip archive without using any third-party software. We just need this is zip file function from the zip file module. That will take full name of our archive, and that will return true or false depending on whether our zip archive is legitimate zip archive or not. In our case, it returns true. All right, now how can we inspect the content of that zip archive? In which case, if I'll copy the first line where we write the zip file, but this time I can change the mode to R or just delete it completely because reading is the default mode. So I can get rid of the mode entirely. And now I can print some specific information about these files. For example, I can use the namelist method to return a list of archive members by name. And I can also use info list method to return a list containing a zip info object for each member of the archive. And in the output, you'll see the text files we put into that zip archive and some archive specific information on these files. By the way, these objects are in the same order as their entities in the actual zip file on disk. And of course, we can inspect our files or entities of the zip archive individually. For example, we can read properties of a specific file and also read its content. For example, by using getInfo method, we can get access to these properties, and we're going to save this in zip info. So we're going to pass the full name of the file that we have. For example, the second one, text file for zip02. And now we'll print, let's say, the size of the file. So now we have access to this property. And on the next line, we're going to read this file and print its content. This time we'll use the read function, and it's going to take in the name of the file. And let's use some other file, let's say file number 1. And let's run the code. And just to be safe that we've closed our file after all operations, let me just copy and paste this close function at the end of the file. So in the first case, we can see 23. This is the number of bytes. And here, this is not the actual text. As you can see, it is prepended by B. So this is binary. And now, of course, we'll learn how to extract the files programmatically. But first, we'll need to comment out some of the previous code. So right up to here, and that means we can delete this close function, and we'll inspect 2 methods. First one is extract, which allows us to extract individual files from our zip archive. And the other one is extract all, which will extract everything. So I'm passing the name of the file which we want to extract individually to the extract function. And in this video, you're not going to see the difference because we already have these text files in our file manager, but you can try to move them in some other directory and check it yourself. So this was a lesson on working with zip files and archives in Python.